All right, Rob, let's get into it. The final score, Chiefs 25, Niners 22 in overtime. Only the second Super Bowl ever to go into overtime, which is very interesting.
It is. When you think about it, that's 58 Super Bowls is a lot. You would have thought by now it would have been way more than that, just two.
So let me ask you this. First of all, because this will determine kind of the direction we go in. The Chiefs have now won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. Do you consider them a dynasty?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so then explain that. Because I was going to, if you had said yes, I was going to say, is it the greatest dynasty? Obviously, you don't think so.
Yeah.
You don't even think it's a dynasty. So go ahead and tell why you don't think it's a dynasty.
For me, for a dynasty, you got to win 3 in a row or 3 out of 4. That's just.
Well, Rob, in the NFL, nobody's won 3 in a row.
Yeah, but I'm just
not in the Super Bowl.
But I said 3 in a row or 3 out of 4, not 3 out of 5.
So we've got 2 dynasties in the NFL Super Bowl era history.
Yeah, that's what I look at as a dynasty. Like the Cowboys to me were the last dynasty. They won 3 out of 4.
Well, the Patriots did
win,
too,
and the Patriots.
But those are the only 2.
Right.
The first Patriots,
yeah, they won 3
Brady,
out of 4.
Yeah,
right.
So that's it. Those are the only 2 we're considering.
To me, I mean, I look at it when
you don't think you can move it, change it for sport, depending on the nature of because the sports don't win the same.
I don't look at it that way. Same thing like when we talk about baseball. To me, right, the Yankees won 3 out of 4. 4 out of 5. What did they win? 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. The last
Which
time.
Which Yankees are you talking about?
The Derek Jeter Yankees, right?
Yeah.
They won in 98.
I think they won 3.
Right? 98, 99. No, did they win? No, they won 97. I'm sorry. 97, Chris, 96, 98, 99, and 2000. That like to me, that's a dynasty. Where you win, in a short period of time. That's why
they won 3 straight and 4 out of 5.
Right. To me, that's a dynasty. Okay. But that's just my definition. You look at it, and everybody has their own. I like the Spurs when we talk about them all the time, and they won, 5 championships in 20 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a real dynasty. It means you're a good, you have a good franchise, Chris, and a winning franchise.
Good, more than good.
No, but I mean a winning franchise.
Right.
But a dynasty is when because the Spurs never even won back-to-back.
Right.
And I think that's a big.
Well, you and I differ on definition of dynasties. Yeah. And I do think it can vary slightly with the sports. One thing I really take into account with dynasty is the participants. I consider the Spurs a dynasty because Tim Duncan was the hub of all 5 of those championships. Now, it was over 20 years, but as long as he was there, they were going to be right there. They'd win 50 games every year and have a chance to win it. The Brady's, but let's stick to football. I think the greatest dynasty, just like I consider the Spurs a dynasty in basketball, I consider the Patriots under Brady because the participants mainly, or the main 2 participants in this case, Brady and Belichick, stayed. A lot of other people changed, but it was Brady and Belichick, the 2 main guys. And I consider that whole run one dynasty. So 6 in 20 years, but most people don't. Most people want, even those that consider it a dynasty, they want to split it into 2.
Well, so because they went 9 years without 9 or 10 seasons without winning.
Seasons.
You know what I mean, Chris? That's a long.
I get it.
It's a long time to say they're a dynasty.
Right, I get it, but I think because it was the same participants, just like the Niners in the 80s, I think that was a dynasty, but they went years without winning it. Multiple years without winning it, but it was 4 in 9 years. So I consider, Rob, definitely this Chiefs now a dynasty, winning 3 in 5 years. I think it's still, they're going to continue to, we'll see what they do going forward. But I don't think the dynasty is ending. But I think they are definitely a dynasty. I think if you split the Patriots into 2, which, again, most people do, so I'll go with that for now. I think, Rob, the greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL, or at least the Super Bowl era, was the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s. They won 4 in 6 years. Now, they wouldn't qualify by your standards because they didn't win 3 and 5. But they won 4 and 6, 2 times went back-to-back. That, to me, is the best dynasty.
And 2 years missing in the middle?
Missing the Super Bowl, not the playoffs.
No, but I'm just saying,
missing
right.
the Super Bowl, yes, absolutely. Yeah. They went 1 year, they went to the conference championship, lost. The next year, they went to the divisional round and lost. Then they went back and won the next 2. And again, the players were the same, essentially. And so I think that's the best dynasty. Now, I do think, Rob, if the Chiefs win next year, and I think they would become the greatest NFL dynasty, because that would be 4 in 6 years, just like the Steelers, but they would have the first three-peat in the Super Bowl era, and they would have gone to 5 Super Bowls in the 6-year span, whereas the Steelers had only gone to 4 and obviously didn't three-peat. Now, I keep saying Super Bowl era because Green Bay did win 3 straight twice. Once when it was like in the 20s or 30s when it was it wasn't even the Super Bowl. And then they won the first 2 Super Bowls,
right?
And won the first, the last NFL championship before the Super Bowl was created.
That's what we were talking about.
So they had won 3 in a row.
Talking about in the old days where the Packers, the Canadians, the Celtics, and Yankees won all the time. It was during that era.
So, I think these Steelers are the greatest dynasty ever, but I think the Chiefs are right there chasing. I'd go second if you divide.
I would only call them a
one.
dynasty if they win next year. That would be 3 in a row. And to me, that I would say they were a dynasty. I still just don't as much. And I say this too.
Actually,
and it's not
by your account, they could lose next year and then win it the next year, and that would be a dynasty.
Yeah, then they would win 3 out of 4. Yeah, and here's why I'll say, Chris, I even look at the San Francisco Giants baseball team, right? They didn't have a dynasty. What'd they win? 3 championships in 6 years?
I believe,
in 6 years, and they never won back-to-back. It was really a weird, and Buster Posey was a big part of it because a lot of the same players, but they never were able to put it back-to-back. And that's why I think people don't look at that Giants team as a dynasty when they talk about baseball dynasties, despite 3 championships in 6 years.
Yeah, I look
Where
at
are you
team,
on that one? 3 and 6. Is that too spread out?
I think that would be a dynasty. Yeah, I think that would be a dynasty. I think it's also feel like when I talk, obviously Showtime Lakers was a dynasty, but I think the Spurs Celtics were right there too. I mean, that was a team that won 3 and 7 years, 3 and 6 years. And, they were right there every year and obviously won their share. So